my gosh. Dr. Kimbro, first off, again, I cannot thank you enough. Like, I'm loving your energy. I love everything that you stand for. Like, let me ask you this. I know it's probably one of the craziest questions that you probably ever heard before, but since you called me the newbie, and this is my first day, like, do you know who you are? That's my first question for you. Like, do you know who you are? Do you know your impact?
You know, I've got, in all humility and, man, the thin thread that we are all connected upon, man. And of all the people that the Napoleon Hill Foundation could select to finish that book, he chose me. And from there, that journey began, man. So, yeah, I'm a child of God, man. I am just like God. I am.
You know, I was actually, I heard Oprah actually make this comparison, and it blew me away, and it really brought me to tears. But her statement was, it still amazes her to know that I am an expression of what it means to be, or God's expression of what it means to be someone named Jimmy Ward Mize in this particular place at this particular time. And when I first heard that from her, like it really blew me. Like I had to put it in my car. I put it on a sticky note, and it's down in my gift ship. But I'm like, that blows me away just to think that, like, quite literally, you are the expression of what it means to be Dr. Dennis Kimbro in this particular time.
So Jimmy, do what you were sent here to do. Complete thy noble task. Do what you were sent here to do. And you've heard me say before, you live the normal life. 74, 77 years on earth, you get 30,000 days. Time is not running out, but your life is. Do what you've been sent here to do. And what have you been sent here to do? To uplift this and generations to follow. That's your job. To set them on the rightful journey, to uplift, to take all the doubt, to take all the fear, all the negativity, to give them peace of mind. The Bible says, blessed are the peacemakers. What in the hell does that mean? Does that mean me and Jimmy got in a fight and then we hug and we shake and we forgive each other? It doesn't mean that. It means blessed are those who have peace of mind. And what is peace of mind? The absence of all negative emotions, fear, anger, jealousy, hatred, guilt, greed. And that's what you've been sent here to do.
So do you believe it's possible to completely get rid of the negative mindsets and the negative thoughts that try to come in?
Oh, well, here's the thing. I believe it's possible for self-corrections. Because we are bombarded every day. And that's what's meant by atonement. Self-correct. All right? Everybody swears they found God. What is God? All right, God is, I can walk down to Peachtree Street. Here we are in Atlanta, and I ask the next 100 people who walk past me on Peachtree Street, what is God to you? And Jimmy, they might say God is love, peace, faith, and forgiveness. All right, that's God. All right. So what does that mean? That means that you can give love, peace, faith, and forgiveness to the individual seated beside you. You can give love, hope, faith, and forgiveness to the individual, you know, right across the aisle from you on the airplane or whatever. That means self-correction now, Jimmy. You can give love, peace, hope, faith, and forgiveness to the individual who just gave you the finger because you cut them off on the freeway. Self-correct. You didn't come here like that, and you're not going to leave here like that. I mean, sooner or later, we're all going to leave this world. Not by dying, but by knowing the truth.
Oh, wow.
By knowing the truth.
Oh, wow.
If you're king of the Jews, once you get down from this cross and free yourself, leave that man alone. He's done nothing. You and I belong here. We're criminals. We're robbers. We're rapists. Will you remember me today when you enter your glory? I promise you, today you will be with me in paradise. He already left the world. Imagine Beyonce coming out of a concert. She just gave a 2-hour concert, and everybody's bum rushing her, trying to get through her security. Beyonce, I just downloaded a mixtape. This is my little cousin, man. She dance. She knows all your dance moves. Can you take a look at it, man? Yeah. Beyonce, I want to email me this and tell me how this sounds, blah, blah. And they're tugging out of their feeling their hair. Well, that's Beyonce. Mm-hmm. Imagine when your Lord and Savior walked into a village. They were ripping at his clothes. They were pulling his hair. The women threw themselves at his feet. They were kissing his hand and everything. And he had the audacity to say, "Who touched me?" Yeah. "Who touched you?" Jesus, what do you mean? People been all over you. He said, "No, but only one touched me." That's what you're doing, Jimmy. You tapped into the spirit. You got the true idea.
Don't make me cry. Like these last couple of years, I've been getting more and more emotional, and I've been getting more and more in tune. Please don't make me cry. Please don't do that today. I want to shift gears just a little bit. You brought up the generations, and I know I've heard you say on several occasions that one of your missions is to help prepare the next generation.
Yep.
Now, with everything that you've learned, how in the world, like, when will we be able to say that they are now prepared? How can we know when we've reached that point, or do you feel that we will ever reach that point?
When you change one single mind, when you change one single life. Jimmy, where have you been? Get a Red Bull, get a cappuccino, man. Get a protein shake. Wake up, Jimmy. Great movements don't begin with the choir. They begin with the soloist, with one individual. I don't care if you look at Gandhi. I don't care if you look at King. I don't care if you look at Nelson Mandela. It begins with one true idea. And, you know, there he is for 27 years. Mandela was on that rock. And the other inmates would say, "Nelson, how come you always smile? Why do you always smile, Nelson? You don't belong here. Come on, you know, we're the criminals. We're the gang. We're the murderers. We killed everybody. But Nelson, all you did was stand up to the South African government and tell them that the rule of law was immoral. Apartheid was immoral. And you always smile." And what did Mandela say? He said, "The reason why I smile, because even when I'm losing, I'm winning." I mean, come on, trap into it begins with one.
So you believe to prepare like one individual at a time?
At a time. I don't care. Listen, man, I tell for the first day of class, I tell students there are 350 other professors on this campus. I'm not for everybody. Yeah. You know, this is me. And see, I learned this from Andy Young. You probably heard me talk about this.
I have.
I asked Andy Young who had the greatest effect on his life. And I knew he was going to say Martin Luther King, but he said Benjamin Mays. And I asked him why Benjamin Mays, and he told me, you could always tell when a Morehouse student was taking a class from Benjamin Mays. I said, "Why, Mr. Ambassador?" He said, "You could see him running across the quad." And he said Benjamin Mays only had 2 rules in his classroom. Rule number 1, he would always correct your English. And then rule number 2, he told the students, "I'll always be the last individual in class." He didn't care if class started at 12:45. At 1 o'clock rather. He got there at 12:45, that door was closed. And he made every student, every Morehouse student, the first assignment, they had to memorize that poem. I've only just a minute, 60 seconds in it, forced upon me, can't refuse it, didn't seek it, didn't choose it, but I know that I must choose it. I will suffer if I lose it, pay account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but my life is in it. 1. Jimmy, 1 is the most powerful number in the universe, and you are the 1. 1 smile can uplift your day. 1 teacher can inspire you. 1 Sunday sermon could give you fuel to take you through the entire week. 1 firm handshake can give you the confidence to go in that interview and get the job. 1 mother brought you in this world, but 1 creator blew life into your lungs. Don't tell me about the, I ain't got time for it, bro. I don't need all that, bro. I don't need all that. You saw what happened last night. One, Kawhi Leonard, man. Kawhi Leonard, one. That's all you need, bro. Yep. He let them know. He let everybody know in the fourth quarter, Jimmy. As far as I'm concerned, you can start passing out the hats and T-shirts.
Oh,
you can print, you can print up business cards. It's over with, brother. Yep, and they didn't have an answer for him. Now I know the Warriors were hurt and this, that, and everything, but Kawhi Leonard was on a mission. He was on a mission. So, and we are all on a mission. You know, what is your personal mission statement? I'm going back to Stephen Covey. Do you even have a mission statement? Do you even possess it? You know, Napoleon Hill, he wrote 16 books in his career. And, you know, the majority of them, and even after he wrote Think and Grow Rich, he self-published. The majority, you can go in a bookstore and you can buy one of his books right now, but they all center on 6 steps. You get a copy of the original Think and Grow Rich, and he tells you within the first chapter of this book, I mention no less than 30 times the secret. And what is he talking about? A burning desire. And what is the burning desire? Wrapped around the big 6. Number 1, what is it that you want? What are you going to do? What's the one thing that you want? Number 2, what are you going to sacrifice for? Number 3.
That's a tough one now.
Oh yeah, number 3. What are you going to give up for? Number 4, develop a plan. All right, you're going to get a degree. What is your plan? Well, I'm going to go to college for 4 years, or I'm going to go to grad school and get a master's degree. Develop a plan. Number 5, write your plan down on paper. And then number 6, read it first thing in the morning upon rising, and the last thing before your head hits that pillow at night. Napoleon Hill. That's burning desire, brother.
Let me ask you this then, along the same lines of that and having that burning desire, what if you have a burning desire and it probably sounds kind of crazy, but if it's spread out in multiple different directions, almost being a jack of all trades and a master of none, how do you hone in your creativity?
Well, besides just giving you the key right there, Jimmy, you got to really decide if this is a burning desire. Now, unlike other desires, here I am, you're in my study. I was upstairs on the deck with my lovely wife, downing a few, enjoying our Friday together, blah, blah, blah. And she tells me all these desires she has. She wants to paint this. She wants a new piece of furniture over here. She wants to upgrade something back there. We all have different desires, okay? We all have desires.
Gotcha.
But a burning desire, Jimmy, a burning desire is an inner candle, an inner flame that can never be extinguished. And though the worst may go before you, doubters will come, cynics will come, critics will come, negativity will come. What will you do? You will use their doubt. You will use their cynicism. You will use their criticism. You will use their negativity to propel you forward. It's an inner candle, an inner flame that can never be extinguished. And that's when you know that you got a burning desire. Now, how do you uncover your burning desire? By finding your area of excellence. That's the first step. Again, Bible, complete thy noble task. Okay, what have I been sent here to do? Let me find my area of excellence. And how do you find your area of excellence? Ask yourself 3 critical questions. Question number 1, what do I love to do? Obviously for you, it's your podcast. Obviously for you, it's uplifting others. Obviously for you, it's making a difference in the life of others. So what do you love to do? Question number 2, what would you do for free? Probably your podcast, you would do it and no one ever paid you a dollar.
Yeah.
You do it for free.
Yeah.
Now, why is that critical? Because when you are completely engaged, when you are operating at full bore, Nothing else matters. Oh my God, I forgot I didn't even eat today. Oh man, Jimmy, I forgot to pick my clothes up out the cleaners, man. I was completely engaged. Man, Jimmy, we gotta cut this. I gotta pick up my kids from school. I totally forgot, man. You were in your labor of love. And then last question, number one, what do you love to do? Number two, what would you do for free? Number three, if you can't answer those two questions, go to people who you respect and admire and ask them, what do you see me as? What do you think I'd be good at doing? What's the first, I never met you in my life. What's the first thing I noticed about you?
Oh my goodness. What was that? Oh my goodness. Why you gotta put me on the spot like that, Dr. Kimbro? Oh my gosh.
And you know you heard it before. You heard it a million times. Your smile.
Sure, they're right.
Your smile.
Sure, right.
Now, what does the smile mean? The smile means that I'm equal to the task. The smile means no matter what occurs to me today, I can encounter it. The smile means that, oh man, that, the doubt and the criticism, that really has no part in my life, all that negativity and the like. You'd be shocked, man, how many kids I got in my class can't smile with this generation. And certainly they've had a number of challenges in their life, rightfully so. Yeah.
I would imagine.
But can't smile. Can't smile. Yeah. Can't smile. I'm completely engaged. I'm equal to the task. I don't care what happens to me today. Today is my day. Today is my day. Yeah.
Dr. Kimbro, I should have found you 30 years ago. Like, I should have found you 30 years ago. Man. Oh my God. This is okay. Speaking of kids, and you gave a wonderful illustration during one of your interviews about you were holding hands, I believe, with your three daughters, and I even believe your wife was there. And you guys were in the living room, and you made the comment.
Right upstairs in this house, in the living room.
Oh, it was in that house?
Yeah.
Wow. See, oh my God. See, okay. But I believe the statement was, this is the basement of life, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I said, no, my daughter said, what are we looking for? I said, take a good look. I said, this is the basement. You'll never see it again in life. In other words, where I was financially, where I was emotionally and psychologically in terms of relationship, from that day forward, upward and onward.
What was different about that particular moment that made you?
I had enough after 7 years. What I was thinking, what was going through my mind, I was telling the universe, go mess with somebody else. Don't mess with me. I'm getting what I came here to do. You better go down the block, go wherever you need to go, but you getting that hell out of here. And Jimmy, shortly after that, I got the phone call from Harvey McKay, and it was Good Friday, and in 2 days it was going to be Easter Sunday, and he saw one of my articles in Success Magazine, and he wanted to read my manuscript. I overnighted the manuscript, so I overnighted the manuscript on Friday. He got it Saturday. He called Sunday. His agent became my agent, and both of them were bouncing off the ceiling. And when he called me 3 o'clock on Easter Sunday, the first question he asked, he said, young man, do you know what you've written? And I said, yeah, I think I got it good. He said, no, do you really know what you've written? And I said, blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, I shared it with my agent, and you will hear, if you don't hear from my agent today, you will hear from my agent first thing tomorrow, and I hope my agent becomes your agent. So, and the rest is history, and it hasn't stopped since. Hasn't stopped since.
I love that. When I first heard that, that was another one of those things that brought me to tears this year. Don't judge me.
Yeah, and Jimmy, here's the thing. The only reason, like I said, people would come out to hear me speak or read my books is the question, yeah, Dennis, it happened for you, but will it happen for me? Yes, it will happen for you. Yeah. Yes, it will happen for you. I was, me and my middle daughter, we were walking Stone Mountain. It's a little 5-mile walk, and we were walking. I got a phone call on my cell phone. And the young lady wanted me to take a look at her manuscript, this, that, and everything. And I could tell in her voice, might have been a little bit of doubt. And I told her, I said, in a year and a half, it would be the 30th and a 30-year anniversary of Think Grow Your Black Choice. And I remember when the book was released, maybe year one, year two, I had a presentation in New York. And after the presentation, I was signing books, and a young lady came up to me, and her self-esteem was so low, Jimmy. She couldn't look me in the eye. She couldn't even make eye contact with me. And she said, Dr. Kimbro, I love what you have to say. I love your message. And I got your book, and I've already read a portion of it. And she said, Dr. Kimbro, I have goals and dreams. And I said, you do? Yeah. And I said, she said, yeah. And I said, what's your goals and dreams? She said, I don't know if I'm going to reach them, but I want to be a writer, and I want to go across the world, travel the world, and I want to speak, but I don't know if anybody's ever going to bring me in to speak or anybody's going to read my books. And I said, don't say that. I said, the universe has placed that dream in your heart, which is truth enough that you can attain it. She said, you think so, Dr. Kimbro? I said, I know so. I said, believe in yourself when no one else will. You will travel this world speaking. Everybody will own your books and read your books. She said, you believe so, Dr. Kimbro? I said, I know so. I said, now, can I autograph the book for you? She says, yes. So she hands me a copy of my book to be autographed. And she says, I'm going to spell my name for you because so many people don't know how to spell it and they might mispronunciate it. Are you ready? And I said, sure, go ahead and spell it. She said, I-Y-A-N-L-A. I said, Ayanla, is that it? She said, yes, Yolanda. I said, last name, V-A-N-Z-A-N-T.
Oh my God.
Couldn't even make eye contact with me, Jimmy. Couldn't look me in the eye.
I know we're running low on time. Dr. Kimbro, I deal with a lot of different leaders that they're in positions, and I mean VPs, directors, senior VPs, like big time leaders leading a billion-dollar industry right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the craziest things. It saddens me so much to see them in this position, but they're afraid to lead.
Mm-hmm.
How can you help those that are in the position that can actually make a real difference, real time, to the people that they are leading? How can you help them to see their authority and their power when they don't see it themselves?
Well, that's the book that I'm working on now. The working title is called Masterclass. The old mantra, the old question, the old saw, are leaders born or are leaders made? Neither, Jimmy. They emerge. Mm. And when do leaders emerge? They emerge from defining moments. So you're looking at them now and you're questioning their leadership ability.
Yes.
Well, as you know, there are 5 levels to leadership. And the number one goal of a leader is to build and develop other leaders. Mm-hmm. But there are 5 levels of leadership, and I'm paraphrasing because I still love it to this day. You know, Stephen Covey, John Maxwell, level 5 leadership. We don't have time to go through all 5, but number 1, the first level is, I gotta follow you because I'm forced to follow you. You might be my boss. You might be my supervisor at work. You're responsible for my 18-month, 24-month review. So on the business card, your card says manager, my card says plant employee. And so I got to do whatever you tell me to do. All right. But level 5 leadership, Jimmy, you follow somebody because of what they stand for. And that's based on their values. That's based on the values. So what do we know about level 5 leaders? They never compromise the values. But you might look at this individual says they're not leading. He or she is leading in their own way. But we always, what you want to see level 5 leadership. You want to see TD Jakes. You want to see, that's what you want to see, bro. That's what we all want to see. You want to see Barack Obama, baby.
It is.
Yep.
It is because I mean, these people are in some extremely powerful positions, and most of them are afraid of confrontation, afraid of making decisions, and it is so hurtful. It is so hurtful to the people that they're leading. And thankfully, I mean, I'm in a position of slight influence, so I'm able to influence to a small degree, but it's very hard to influence someone that doesn't see their own capabilities. It's very hard to do that. And so I'm stuck.
That's like Robert Smith, who his generous gift of $40 million to pay off the loans of the students at Morehouse. And some people were shocked that he would, do this. Well, I was on about a week later, I was on a radio show, WOL. I was out of Washington, D.C. And, you wouldn't believe the pushback this guy is receiving because of his generous gift. And, here I am answering questions, and I said, oh, well, he could have spent the money better, and he shouldn't have done that, and this, that, could have done A, B, C, X, Y, Z. And I just said, here you are questioning his gift to these individuals, these 600 men of Morehouse, not knowing the lives that they will lead now they're free of that burden. But no one ever talks about the $50 million that Puff Daddy spent for his yacht. No one ever talks about the $70 million Beyonce and Jay-Z for not only their yacht, but their airplane.
But that's normal. That's normal.
Yeah. So I said, I only share that, I said, maybe he doesn't have the problem. We as a society has the problem of what we see as a gift, as a blessing, as truth, as being heartfelt. So, hey, you got to be able to recognize leadership when you see it. And Jimmy, everybody swears they can recognize leadership. The most, how do I want to say this? The rarest gift in the world, Jimmy, is the ability to recognize ability. Everybody swears it. Do you really recognize it? Do you know what it looks like at its lowest form? If you would look back on my life, there is only one way my life could lead, Jimmy. Okay, here I am. I'll be 69 years old in December. And all right, I travel the globe, I speak, I write, I teach. But if you saw me as a young child, there's only one way my life was going to end. Why? Because when I was a young boy, barely 10 years old, my mother and my father, they were hell on education. Me and my brother had to we couldn't go out and play on school nights till our homework was over. Had to wait for my father to get home from work. He checked our homework. By the time he got home in the wintertime, it was dark. Then we really couldn't go out. We couldn't watch TV on school nights, except for one exception. This show came on a Tuesday. It came on at 8 o'clock. It was only on for 30 minutes. And my father forced me and my brother to sit down in front of the TV with our little legs crossed, and we had to watch the show. And what was the name of the show, Jimmy? It was Biography with Mike Wallace.
Oh, wow.
And there were no black profiles back then. There was Eleanor Roosevelt, there was Charles Lindbergh, there was Mohandas K. Gandhi, it was Winston Churchill, it was FDR. Weren't any black profiles. But after the show, my father would quiz me and my brother. Okay, what made that individual so special? You think you could do that? Okay, that individual had a goal. What is your goal? What are you going to do with your life? Look, and quizzed us. If you saw that at age 10, that particular training, there's only one way this story is going to end, bro.
Only one.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
And appreciate it, actually.
Yeah, and even undergrad at the University of Oklahoma, my fraternity brothers called me a professor. They called me the professor because I always had a book under my arm. Always had a book under my arm. Always on my way to the library, whether I had to study or not. I'm on my way to the library. I was a nerd, man. I was a nerd. My wife married a nerd.
I was going to say nerds came back in style. So I mean, they're called bookworms now. So just it's okay.
My wife married a nerd, man.
Before I ask my final question, how can we get a hold of you? I know you love to help and inspire. I know there's so much content on YouTube. I will definitely be linking up quite a bit. But is there any way that people can get a hold of you?
Oh yeah, www.denniskimbro.com. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. You can call Clark Atlanta University School of. I won't be there until end of August. So, but there's 50 million ways to get a hold of me. Same way you got a hold of me, my brother.
All right, my final question is success and happiness. I know it's completely different for everybody. What does it look like for you?
Yeah, well, my definition of success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal or ideal. That's all it is. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal, a worthy ideal. That's all it is. You can't quantify it. Society throws a dollar figure on it. But, you know, when I interviewed Osceola McCarty, the little black washerwoman in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, who gave every dime back to those black kids at Southern Mississippi, didn't have, man, no, bro. I interviewed Walter Turnbull, founder of the Harlem Boys Choir. No, you can't put a dollar figure on this, man. That ain't happening. I interviewed Joe Clark, Lean on Me. No, you can't put a dollar figure on this. They were doing what they were born to do. What they were born to do.
I love that. I'm learning that is a level of freedom like no other.
Yep.
I'm learning that. Dr. Kimbro, thank you so very much.
I love you, my brother. Put 3 dots on the end of this, and we will continue this conversation.
Yes, sir.
All right, you take care, Jimmy.
You too. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.